Coaches, one of the biggest requests I get from guys in the community is, hey coach, do you have a play call sheet? And would you mind sharing it with me? Well, I don't mind sharing what I use, but I think it's time that maybe we talk about what you can do to create your own. Stay tuned. All right, coaches, welcome back to the 92 Meshgroup channel, your home on the internet for the air raid offense. This is Coach Coltharp coming back to you again today. And today I thought we would talk about something that I get a question about probably once or twice a week at least. Hey, coach, do you have a play card that you can share with us or I can look at? I'm trying to design my own play card and I'm just not really sure where to get started. And we've all been there. And so today I thought what I would do is talk about what I think is the perfect play card and how I came to that assumption. Now, if these are the kind of videos you like, because even though we're dropping Madden videos every other day right now, we're first and foremost always going to be an air raid channel for coaches. And so if these are the kind of videos you like, make sure you hit a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, and hit that bell so you know when we go live. Oh, and yeah, by the way, if you're a member of the Squadron 53-3 Air Raid Academy over on 92meshgroup.com, all of the play cards that are in today's video, they're inside. All right, guys, so we're over here in our little slide section, where we do our little chit-chatting and talking and things of that nature. And I thought we would talk a little bit today, like I said in the intro, about designing a play call sheet for the air raid offense. And, it can be really difficult at times. And so I'm going to just kind of share with you kind of what I've come up with. And hey, if you do something different or you disagree, you have another thought, man, make sure you put a comment down the video, because those comments make the videos grow, which makes the channels grow, and which we want more guys around, because the more people in a room, the more you can learn. All right, so in my mind, there are three types of play sheets. Now, I'm sure there's more, but this is kind of like three kind of categories that I kind of came up with. The first one I call is the TMI play sheet. Now, you know what TMI is when you kind of give too much information. And so that's the kind of the first kind. The second one I call the categorical sheet. It's kind of a category time-based thing, and we'll get into each one of these in a second. And then the last one is what I call a minimalist sheet. That like 2x2 square card that you see some of these cats holding on to, so the minimalist sheet. And we'll get to which one I think is the best as we move forward. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about the TMI play sheet. Now, I'm going to try to do this a little bit differently, so I might look away from the camera just a little bit so I can get over and show you what I'm talking about. So for me, this is what I think a TMI play sheet looks like. All right, it's one of these, and this is actually a pro play sheet. So, it's TMI for the high school level, but the pro level is probably not. But as you can tell, it's just chock full of everything you could think of: 3-step, 5, 7-step, empty stuff, play action, movements, run actions with different formations, entire different parts of the running game, like 50 running plays or whatever. Then you got situational defenses, short yardage, goal line runs, goal line passes, yardage. Everything is kind of broke down, and so that's kind of the first part of that. And so why do we call it a TMI play sheet? Well, I just think it's full of all the information. And I will tell you, man, when I was a young coach, I had a TMI play sheet, man. I would spend hours doing that. And how many of you guys are classroom teachers, man? If you're a classroom teacher, raise your hand. All right, thank you for participating. But you know how it is. You take a kid, you take them to the library, you get them a book, you give them an internet assignment, you say, all right, you guys are going to create a presentation with 5 or 6 slides on it to give me this kind of information. You're trying to create mastery learning or all that good stuff is. But then, there's always that one group that's got those kids in it that spends half the class period trying to design what the daggone slides look like. Yeah, that was me with my play sheet. I wanted it to look good, like I was going to be passing out signed copies after the game. So, it had all these graphics on it. And it was almost like you were making a dirty bed. The sheets were dirty, but the blankets were clean. So you were clean, putting the blankets on top, and it looked all nice until you got up in it and you realized it really wasn't practical. And so for me, that's kind of what I felt like, the TMI play sheet was. It was beautiful, man. My old school, I went back and saw some in a drawer the other day. Man, my old school things look great, but I couldn't call a game off them right now if I wanted to. But you have every scenario possible. Where do I see value in TMI play sheets? To be honest, I think they're great for halftime adjustments because you kind of have your whole offense sitting right there in front of you. And if you're kind of running a system you're not real comfortable in, if it's a newer system, like some of you guys who bought foundations of the air raid offense, last spring or whatever, and you guys will message me, yo, coach, we're going all in on the air raid, then you might have more of a TMI play sheet because you're not as comfortable with all the tags and different types of things that you are if you've been running the offense for, say, 5 or 6 or 7 years. And so I think they're great for halftime adjustments. And look, it's not all that bad to have all that information. In his book, Finding the Winning Edge, and if you ever get one of those things, man, hold on to it because they're worth like $500-$600. I had one a long time ago, got stolen out of my classroom in 2000 or something. If I'd have known what it was at that point, I would have locked it away. But anyway, Bill Walsh talks about why he scripted his offenses and stuff, and he said it's because it was a lot easier to make decisions on Thursday than it was on Sunday. And so if you're doing these TMI play sheets and you're doing, like I just showed you over there, and let's go back over there and look at it one more time. If you're looking at this idea of all of these scenarios and different things, you're doing your scripting piece. And there's always going to be value to scripting. I talk about scripting the field. If you haven't seen my course on scripting the field over on CoachTube, I'll drop a link in the description. It's great. There's a lot of videos on YouTube about scripting the field. I think it's one of the best things in the world to do. But if you look over here, you see, all of that stuff, those decisions are easier to make in your office when you don't have people screaming at you and all this other stuff. And so the TMI play sheet allows you to do that, but also you have your entire, kind of checklist of everything that you want to run or can run as well. And so then you have this categorical play sheet. And what exactly is a categorical play sheet? Well, I can tell you that I've used several different categorical play sheets over the years. And I'm going to try to pull one up here for you in just a second. Let me make sure I get it in the right place. I tell you, man, managing all this stuff is crazy. Categorical play sheets, in my mind, are more about organization in one of two ways. So you can organize your play sheet by formation or play type, or you can do it situational. And I'll show you an example of one of the ones that I use. This was my most recent play sheet. As you can see, I do it by play type. So like it'll be like counter, and then I'll put 2 or 3 formations underneath it because I don't want to go look. For me, it's easier to think about it as the run than think about it as a formation. And a lot of guys, when they do it some people will do it by formation, and then some people will do it by run. And I'll show you another example here in a minute where you do it by formation. But for me, it's easier to say, okay, I want to run counter. How can I do it? And there's 3 or 4 different ways to do it, especially if you have different types of motions and things that you have in your game plan that week. Same thing with your shallows, your 6 calls, Y cross, 6 calls. You see all that stuff right there. But I also have situational in my categorical. Okay, I have my openers, my short yarders, my 3rd and long, my 2-point plays, my overtime script. And then down here, I have my personnel just so I know who's coming in and out of the game. This year, I'll probably change this side just a little bit to get more into my scripting of the field options because I've really gone into scripting the field a lot more than just 3rd and long, short yardage. I mean, I've always kind of scripted the field in my head. And to be honest, I don't look at this thing a lot. During the game, I kind of get into a feel and just start calling plays, but it kind of helps you as you create the scenarios. It kind of helps you kind of get your mind right. There are different strategic philosophies for doing this way. If you're doing it by formation, you're really finding your matchups. Okay, so I know if I go 3-by-1, I can get this matchup. And then if you're doing it by situational effectiveness, you're looking like, okay, I'm just gonna do it by down and distance. So, I got this categorical play sheet, and I think I have another one over here. Just let me see. Yeah, see, and here's a great one. This is one of them that's off the internet that I've had over the years. But this is a great one of just all down and distance, and you can just see, there's his 1st down, 2nd down, 3rd down, goal line, short yardage, and he's got 10 or 11 plays up there on each one. And then on the backside, he kind of has a script and his play actions and different things like that. So you can see real quick how easy it is to get overwhelmed by all of that information. But I think categorical is probably one of the easiest ways to do it. And then you kind of have your last one, which is your minimalist. And generally speaking, your minimalist play sheet is going to be one that's really about scripting the field. And I will tell you that I know that so many of you guys have asked me about scripting the field, and you know, when I went down and visited with Coach Mummy, we talked a little bit about scripting the field, and just you know, there are some different things. There's some different reasons why you want to do it. I think it helps with game planning. But in order to script the field and not do a categorical or do a TMI play sheet, you know, you really, in order to do a minimalist play sheet, you have to know your offense. You know, you just can't be one of these things where you don't know your offense in and out, because you may forget things that you're back to the game like, man, if I don't know why I didn't think about doing that. Well, like I said, you have to know your offense. You have to know, you know, kind of what you're going to do in certain situations and how you want to attack certain things. I mean, I know guys who have sheets that says, okay, cover 1 beater, cover 2 beater, cover 3 beater, cover 4 beater. You know, there's all kind of different things. And just really it boils down to how much information you can process, how fast you can do it. Because a lot of guys who've never called plays before don't understand that after you've already called that first play, you know, if I go open, you know, 64, bang. As soon as that ball that's sent in to guys, as soon as that ball is snapped, I've already got my next play in my head. I've already gone, you know, early H move, you know, 20, 25 or 24, you know. So, you know, you've already got that next play already in. Once you've called that first one, you've already moved on to your next one. So you don't have time to just be over there, you know, kind of searching at your play. Now, if you got a timeout, you know, then you can look down at your card and look at your special situations and things like that. All right, so here's kind of your minimalist script in the field kind of you know, play card here. You see you have your inventory, both run and pass, so you have an idea of what's in your package. You know what your running plays are. You know what your passing plays are. You just kind of know them by formation. You're not really worried about, you know, each individual run. Like I said, I do mine, and mine's more of a categorical on that piece where I put the run and then I'll put several different formations. You know, in this situation right here, you got your 20 personnel, your trips, your empty, your open, and then maybe some specials. And then over here, you kind of have your script in the field area. So it gives you an idea of an inventory of plays. Like, these are the pass plays we have. These are the run plays we have. You know, obviously in the air raid, you know, we have every pass play in every week because we only have so many of them. But if you have a little bit more of an offense, you know, if you're more of a spread coach, you know, and that's for a whole other video. What's the difference between spread and air raid? They're completely different. But if you're a spread guy who has a bunch of different concepts and things like that, an inventory may be a way for you to keep it simple and get yourself in a situation where you can run some different plays, and this kind of play card might help you with that situation right there. So, you know, just like I said, you know, you have the minimalist idea of, hey, here's my 4 or 5 situations, you know, and you're going to script your red zone, you're going to script your goal line, everything else is kind of, you know, out there for you. And then, you know, so it's kind of an interesting way. So as we start looking at it, let's wrap it up and kind of start talking about, you know, what is the best play call sheet? You know, I've given you an example of all that. Remember, I said if you're a member of that Air Raid Academy over on 92meshgroup.com, all you got to do is be an elite pilot Patreon. You can get copies of all of these play cards there in the academy, along with some other videos and things that are only for Academy members. So check that out. So, you know, we have play. What type of play caller are you? And like I said, I've used all of these. I started off as a TMI coach. You know, I went to different types of categoricals back and forth. I mean, like one year I went by play type. Next year I went by formation. Then I went by play type. And then I kind of got into a minimalist thing. And you know, so there's all kind of different things. I mean, there was even one year that I had my play card on a wristband, and that's all it was. It was just, you know, the wristband. I wore the same wristband as the quarterback, you know, just kind of by situations. And, you know, hey, in the link below, if you click that, you can get a free Air Raid quarterback wristband. Just pop your email in there. It'll shoot you a download. You can get that. So really, what is the best? You know, which one of these is the best? And I'll tell you, it's a personal preference. In the comments down below, you tell me which one you think is the best. If you have a better example or a better idea, I'd love to hear you talk about it. There's a couple of videos over here to my right that you might want to check out that will give us some more information about the Air Raid if you like this kind of stuff. And I really would appreciate it if you would subscribe. Click that button. Make sure you hit that bell so you know you're notified. We're trying to grow to 5,000. We're almost at 3,500. We're really excited. We haven't hit our year anniversary yet. I think the best one is the one that works best for you. Hey, man, this has been Coach Coltharp. Like I said, man, I appreciate you. Check me out on Twitter at Coach Coltharp. And as always, spin it to win.